Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Nitin Soni of Fitch Ratings has joined us from Singapore. Good morning, Nitin. Well, it's about 7,500 crores that's coming in from the sale of both Vodafone and Idea Towers. Okay, almost 8,000 crores. Your thoughts on Idea? How much of the deleveraging?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I think this is on expected lines, and this is positive for the new combined entity, Voda and Idea, when they will merge together, and will essentially help them in deleveraging the balance sheet and spending more amount on 4G capex and strengthening their network position vis-a-vis Geo, which is they need it badly, because unless they improve their network position, they could continue to lose some of the subscriber base to Geo.
Okay, so, hold on, Nitin. We have Himanshu Kapania of Idea Cellular now joining us. Mr. Kapania, good morning. Is this deal in line with the valuation that the industry benchmarks have been over the last 6 months or so, or have you sold it at slightly lower than the industry benchmark? Because the last benchmark I had was 50 lakh per tower done by Viom, and I think this would be somewhere around 37-38 lakh per tower. Mr. Kamania, good morning. Is my voice reaching you?
Yes, your voice is reaching me.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So the question I was asking is that can you take us through the deal contours, and is this deal at a slight discount to the last available info that we have from Viom, which was at 50 lakh per tower? This one works out to around 37 lakh. Would that be right?
So I would want you to evaluate the deal on two fronts. One, the total absolute amount that Idea Cellular is getting, which is be on an independent basis 4,000 crores, and on a combined with separately for Vodafone and Idea at 7,850 crores. But the important component along with this is the fact that we have 6,300 of our co-located tenancies, which will all become part of a single tenancy. So there will be no exit penalties that will be applicable to them. So if I were to carry out that exercise along with the co-located tenancies, the multiplier that Idea gets is in excess of 13. Other than our current multiplier, which is at the present value of the listed tower company, which is in excess of 10.5. So in both ways, the valuation are very good, and we're extremely happy with the overall deal construct.
So, Mr. Kapania, so how is the money going to be used? Is it entirely going to go into deleveraging the balance sheet? And if that is to be the case, then can you give us the sort of balance sheet equation we'll have in terms of debt to equity of the combined entity as a whole?
So, telecom operators are midst of massive rollout of 4G services, and given the overall financial stress, our non-strategic assets of towers, this fund will be used for primarily to be able to finance additional capex to continue to expand our 4G services.
Okay, and what is that additional capex? Do you have a figure in mind right now, sir?
No. I am saying this is for next year, not for this year. For the because by the time the funds comes in,
sure,
it will be calendar year 2018.
Fair.
That's why it is getting ourselves ready for next year investment.
No, absolutely, sir. I totally get that point, but I was asking so that we get a sense of sort of how aggressive the future capex plans are going to be and what we can expect next year. Because as you're saying, this is not going to go just to pay debt. This is growth capital that sort of is coming in then.
Yeah. So the way the shareholders have to study the overall transaction is this is part of our transaction. The first and foremost, we announced a merger with Vodafone India, and we expect And in the merger announcement, it also said that we are going to strengthen our balance sheet. So we are expecting both this transaction as well as the Vodafone merger to happen around the same time. And as you are aware, with the Vodafone merger, the network consolidation will start, the spectrum consolidation will start, and we will accelerate our 4G investments. The specifics will be given once the same plans have been finalized.
Okay, Mr. Kampania, good morning. Just to reiterate, the Voda towers were not part of the merged entity. So what you get into the merged entity is only 4,000 crores, not the Voda towers money.
Voda tower, if the transaction happens post the merger, is very much part of the merged entity. And if in case the transaction happens pre the merger, separate debt adjustment will take place. So as a part of the original transaction, Vodafone Towers is very much part of the entity.
Okay, so you're saying that you will have close to 8,000 crores for deleveraging of other purposes?
Yes, but as a part of our announcement that we made in March 2017.
Sir, I'm also, as we speak, trying to go through the press release on the results that have been announced. I'm quoting from it. The rate realization continues its free fall in the second quarter as voice realization rate fell by 9.9%. And mobile data realizations showed sharp decline of 49.2%. Sir, if you could just help us get through this because the numbers have just come out. What has been the quarter-on-quarter increase or decrease or stability both on voice and on data, Q2 versus Q1?
So I think the way you have to see the announcement of this quarter that the overall revenue construct is undergoing a big change. One of the big changes that we moved from selling separately voice and data plans to selling bundle plans. And once we started to sell bundle plans, the overall volume, it is a low rate, high volume, and in the long run, ARPU improvement exercise. And as we, with this introduction of our bundle plans, obviously there's doubling of rates both in terms of voice as well as mobile data. And the overall, given the fact that this is a weak quarter for Idea Cellular, overall revenue has declined by 8.6%, and you can see a consequent impact on EBITDA.
Oh, yes, in fact, that was on expected lines, Mr. Kapania. So getting back to the big, tower sale, and now what next? So the Idea Vodafone merger gets completed this year, and we start to see consolidated numbers from this year?
So I think along with this announcement, if you notice that we have already started pre-preparation work before the merger, and the focus has been to reduce wastage and improve capex efficiencies. So the first announcement is that our active infrastructure sharing sites have started to be rolled out from month of October. Second is that we are in the process of completing our testing and signing of 4G ICR deal with Vodafone, which will allow us to expand at least over 5,000 towns each our 4G services. So these are the initial steps we've done. While we wait for regulatory approval, you're aware that we've crossed number one step is CCI, number two step is SEBI and Stock Exchange, number three step at the NCLT. We now have an approval of both the shareholders as well as secured and unsecured creditors, and we wait for the final approval of NCLT before we move to DOT.
So NCLT and DOT are the two major last approvals remaining, sir. So in some sense of the timeline, I mean, when will we see the merged combined entity be unveiled? If you could give us some sense of how this will flow from here on. Also, I mean, the guidance for the shareholders that you could give on this.
So as far as we've already made our announcement that we expect the merger to go through in the calendar year 2018.
Sure.
There is no reason for us to change that guidance at this point of time.
Okay, Mr. Kapania, thanks a lot for your time today.